Hey y'all, I'm back with another installation of the Genshin Impact Recipe Recreation series. Please let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see me make from the game. Today, I'm making the moon pie, a dish hailing from Monstadt and one of the newer recipes compared to what I've done in the past. You can only get this dish from the reputation system at level 7. The core ingredients of this recipe are meat, egg, butter, and flour. In the description, it is stated that the meat is pickled, and the sweetness of a meringue helps moisturize the meat during the cooking process. At first, I thought this was a savory version of a Chinese mooncake due to the fact that it was a festival food and had a similar name. However, after doing more research, I found it closer to a Western dish. Immediately, I thought beef Wellington, but decided that a pithivier was the closest real-life comparison. A pithivier is a French dish where a filling is stuffed between two puff pastry layers and then spiral lines are cut into the top. Pretty similar to what we see in the moon pie, right? If you like the written recipe, check it out in the description below. But without further ado, let's get started. The first step is pickling the meat. For the meat, I chose a beef brisket. The reason I chose this is because I wanted to slowly cook the meat in the oven after the pickling process and create a shredded meat texture at the end. This allows for a lot of surface area where the meringue can be incorporated with later. I'm using about 1 pound here. This will create enough filling for 2 medium-sized moon pies. For the pickling spices, 8 whole cloves, 3 star anise, 4 cardamom pods, 1 tablespoon of whole black peppercorns, 2 bay leaves, and 4 tablespoons of salt. I wanted to add a little bit of an Asian twist to this, so I'm also adding 3 red Thai chilies, 3 garlic cloves, and 1-inch knob of ginger that's been sliced. In a saucepan, add 2 cups of water and half a cup of vinegar. Bring it up on medium-high heat and add the spices in. Dissolve the salt in the liquid and then pour it over the beef brisket in a container. Try to make sure the entire piece of meat is submerged. Cover and let this pickle in the fridge for up to 48 hours. Flip it once after 24 hours. After the 48 hours has passed, place the brisket onto a roasting rack if you have one. I do not have one, so I created a makeshift one out of aluminum foil. It's a little janky, I know. Make sure the fat side is facing upwards. Now pour 1/2 cup of the brine and the whole spices into a saucepan. Add 1 cup of any broth of your choice. This will be the braising liquid. Normally a braising liquid would have more fat in it, but I didn't want to overpower all of the pickled flavor and taste with additional fat. Feel free to add a bit of melted butter if you wish. Allow the brisket to cook in the oven for 1 hour at 300 degrees Fahrenheit covered. After 1 hour has passed, baste the meat with the liquid and continue to do that every 30 minutes. Allow the brisket to cook for an additional 1 hour and 30 minutes for a total of 2 hours and 30 minutes in the oven. Let it cool and shred using your hands or forks. Moving on to the meringue, place 2 egg whites into a stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, then an electric hand whisk or a regular whisk would work, but prepare to work out your forearms. After the egg whites are added, also add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. The acid helps stabilize the egg whites. Whisk on high speed and slowly drizzle in honey. I chose honey because the more rounded sweetness of honey will complement the beef more than just the pure sweetness of granulated sugar. But either works. Add about a total of 1/2 cups of honey as it's whisking and continue to whisk on high speed until peaks form. For the puff pastry, I'm using store-bought puff pastry here. Take 1 sheet and using a round container, such as a ramekin, outline 2 bases for the moon pie. Mix the beef and meringue together and place a large pile on top of the base. Then place a sheet of puff pastry over and crimp the edges using a fork to create a seal. Take a small knife and carefully score starting from the top to the base and go in a crescent motion. Place a little moon shape on top made out of puff pastry and then wash the entire thing with either egg wash or butter. Bake in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. While that's in the oven, let's work on the sauce. Add 1 tablespoon of minced shallots with some neutral oil. Saute, then deglaze with red wine. If you don't have red wine, just skip this step. Let the alcohol cook off and then add some of the drippings from the beef and basted liquid. Cook that down, then add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Turn off the heat and add 1 tablespoon of butter and allow that to slowly melt and thicken the sauce. Once the moon pie is finished baking, plate it, drizzle some sauce over the edges, and garnish with some cilantro leaves. And there we have the moon pie from Genshin Impact. I was unsure how it would taste when I decided to make this, but surprisingly, the sweetness of the meringue does indeed balance and enhance the strong pickle flavor of the beef, just like the description said. I would highly recommend making this with others, possibly during a festival. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more recipes. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to make or recreate, and I'll see you on the next one.